Hi, my name is Diane Parham. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make kale chips. Kale chips is one of those things that has slowly become one of my kids' favorite after school snacks. I was a little bit intimidated about making kale chips because I didn't know what to do. So I ran across this bag of pre-cut, pre-washed kale. So it just made the process of the kale chips that much easier for me. What I'm going to do is just take it, since it's already pre-washed and cut, and I'm just going to dump it in my bowl. So I've got it in my bowl here, and you can see it just fills up a nice big bowl. I have pre-measured out 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to just sort of toss that in with my kale. What that does, it's just going to help it get crispy in the oven. So I'm just going to kind of coat it lightly with the 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. You can see that you can hardly see the oil on there at all. It's just going to kind of help it crisp up when it's in the oven. And then I'm just going to put it out on my pan. And this is going to take about, I just load it up. I don't worry about the fact that there's a couple layers in here. I toss it halfway through the cooking process, so the fact that it's a little thick on here just doesn't really make a difference in the cooking at all. So this is already a pretty full cookie sheet full of kale. And I got a little extra in my bowl here. I have pre-measured out a 1/4 cup of Trader Joe's shredded Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add that to the top. What that does is just adds a little bit of saltiness and cheesy flavor to the kale. And a little kosher sea salt, and I lightly put that on because the Parmesan cheese also does add a little bit of saltiness to the kale. So I've got my oven preheated at 375. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in. I leave it in for about 10 minutes in the oven at 375. But what I'll do at about 5 or 10 minutes is I'll go in and I'll just take my cooking tongs and I'll kind of fluff it up so that I rotate it so that the kale on top doesn't get burnt. I kind of roll it over, and then the kale underneath comes to the top, and then it gets a nice even crunchiness to the kale chips. So we're going to let that cook for about 10 minutes, and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes. I just pulled the kale out of the oven, and I'm just going to toss it a little bit on my pan here so that the leaves that are on the top get turned underneath, and the leaves on the bottom are going to get brought to the top. You can see the cheese is nicely melted in there. And you can see where the kale's actually turning into kind of little chip pieces. So I'll spread that out. And it shrinks a little bit too when it cooks. It kind of loses its fluffiness. So I can actually now, for the last few minutes, kind of spread it out a little thinner. And it'll cook a little more evenly this way too. So I'm going to pop it back in for about 5 to 7 more minutes, and then we'll take a look and see how it turned out. Okay, so I just took the kale chips out of the oven. They were in there for probably a little more than 15 minutes, probably about 20 minutes, just because there was so much on my cookie sheet. And you could see that the Parmesan cheese is just kind of melted and cooked into the kale. And you can hear that it's kind of crispy, yet it still has that little bit of moisture to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put it on a plate. I took this to a Super Bowl party this last weekend, and everybody there absolutely loved it. Kale chips. Super easy to make, super high in nutrients, super low in calories. If you'd like more information about the nutrient value of kale chips and how healthy they are for you, visit our website at parhamfitness.com and search for it under our Healthy Family Recipes. Thanks so much for watching.